Good day, everyone. I am John Cornelius Lasarte, and I will be presenting my second topic for the reporting, which is all about the role of teaching materials in teaching. So, without further ado, let us begin. Our objectives for today is to define and value teaching material, explain the definitions and fundamental importance of teaching materials in education. Next, we're going to explore material varieties, identify and categorize different types and practical examples of educational tools. Another one is maximize learning outcomes, wherein we're going to describe the significant benefits of effectively utilizing teaching materials. Lastly, is strategic selection and development, where we are going to provide clear criteria for selecting and developing appropriate teaching materials. So let us proceed with our subject matter, which is the foundations of effective teaching material. So first, let us define what are teaching materials. So teaching materials are structured tools that facilitate learning experiences. It is essential for effective instruction and student engagement. This is very tangible in our classroom setting that when we are implementing or using teaching materials in classes, we can see that the students in our class are very motivated to engage in our classroom. They participate enthusiastically and contribute to the class discussion. So we have different types of diverse teaching materials. So the first one is the visual, such as we can use charts, diagrams, and models. Specifically in mathematics, we can use models or shape figure or solid figures that is carved from wooden materials to show different shapes or 3D figures such as a cylinder, square, rather cube, rectangular prism, and something like that. Then next one is the audio, or we can use the podcast, music, and speeches. Some topics in mathematics are more fun to learn when we convert it into music. Some teachers integrate musical presentation of the topic so that the students can easily remember the topics and the things that they need to memorize. Next, we can also combine the two, the visual and audio, wherein it is called the audio visual, such as the video presentation. So in this case, this is the most popular one, wherein mathematics tutorial can be presented to class, wherein there are diverse sources of tutorials now online, which is widely sought by the students, even at home during their self study, because this is really helpful in understanding their lesson. Next, we have the digital. Digital materials contains or some examples are ebook, apps, and other online resources. This also helps them to as an extra resources of informations and that will aid them in understanding the lesson. Another one is the manipulative type such as physical objects, puzzles, and realign. So these manipulatives are very helpful in order for students to practice and apply their learning. This will also help them in building the concepts that they are trying to learn during the lesson. So, what are the key benefits of quality materials? We have it enhances students' interest and motivation, of course. As you can see, the when we compare the traditional teaching method with just a chalk talk method compared to those teaching method that implements teaching materials, visual aids, and manipulatives, we can see or we really had experience that the students are more motivated or enthusiastic in learning when they can manipulate different learning materials compared to just passive learner in the case of traditional chalk talk method. Next, it facilitates deeper understanding. Why? Because as a teacher implements the usage of teaching materials, the students can be able to visualize it more and they can also adapt the use of it in order to practice the application of the concepts. And last is it improves information retention. Why? Because again, mathematics is can be learned through experience, or the only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. That's why as the students can engage more in lesson with the help of the teaching materials, it can also improve their retention of the topic. So what are the guiding principles for the development of this? So first is relevance. It should be aligned with the learning goals. We should not choose the learning materials that is not appropriate for the topic that we're going to discuss. Even though those learning materials are very attractive, very beautiful, it is cheap, but if it is not relevant to the topic we're going to discuss, then we should not use it. Next is accuracy. The factual, reliable, and current. So meaning to say our teaching materials that we're going to adapt should be up to date and not outdated. Next, appropriate level. It should suit the learner's age or ability, just like the theory of Jean Piaget. So the development of the student or the students of our learners is based on their age, wherein different age has different capabilities, skills, and expectation. So meaning to say, if we are teaching, for example, in elementary, our manipulatives or teaching materials that we're going to integrate in our lesson should be fitted for students or pupils on the age about, for example, in grade 3, age about 8 years old, or something like that. Next, it should be cost effective. Cost effective, we should optimize resource use, wherein first of all, we should prioritize the learning materials that we can obtain cheaply, or we can try to recycle things that we can found around the our surroundings or on our environment, instead of buying buying it on the already available sources, like for example buying it in Shopee. I have already seen many teaching aids there that are very attractive, but sadly it is very costly. Now let us continue. So first, let's have this brainstorming activity. So what teaching material do you remember from your childhood and why? So try to answer it uh, to yourself. But for me, let me answer this question. So the teaching material that I still remember is the one that is uh, the the one that is very beautiful, and it has many tricks. So yung sa experience ko po dati, natutuwa ako dun sa mga learning materials na yung may mga hugot-hugot, may mga lumalabas, may mga pa-surprise. At yan po yung mga siguradong yung mga visual aids na talagang ma-effort gawin. So in that way, as in my perspective as a student during that time, na-capture niya talaga yung aking attention, kaya mas naging engage ako doon sa lesson na dini-discuss nung teacher ko during that time. So that's why when we are trying to develop our own teaching material, we should put into mind that our goal in using teaching material is first to get the attention of our students, then inspire them or motivate them to engage more actively in our class. But we should be careful na baka naman po masyadong ma-distract na yung mga bata naman sa ating mga kapag over na po yung paggamit natin ng mga teaching material. So dapat ay balance rin lang po. Okay po? So we have the guiding questions. How do pictures or videos help in learning? So even in our experience, as when we look back during the times that we're still learners, talaga pong in my experience, napaka-helpful po kapag merong pictures and videos na pine-present. Kaysa po yung i-imagine niyo lang po yung mga concept. Example po sa mga sciences, halimbawa kung di sa math, or pwede rin naman po sa math, kapag may mga pictures po na and videos, halimbawa video tutorials, mas naiintindihan po yung mga topic. Kasi minsan, yung mga lesson, hindi mo pwedeng paulit-ulitin. Pero once you access video tutorials, you can learn at your own pace. Pwede mo pong paulit-ulitin, pabagalin, or pwede rin namang pabilisin kung nadadalian sa lessons. So kaya po talagang very helpful po ito, and it is a good support mechanism for learning po itong mga videos and pictures. Then another question, what impact do visual aids have on comprehension? So, if we compare the students who undergoes traditional learning compared to the students who undergo teaching and learning with the help of visual aids, mas mataas po talaga yung comprehension ng mga bata kapag may visual aids. And tandaan po natin, our diverse pool of learners have different intelligence. And majority of them, kahit hindi po natin tanungin, majority of them po talaga is visual learners. Kaya kung meron tayong mga ini-implement na visual aids in any form, talaga pong mas matataas or mas tataas yung kanilang comprehension ng topic. Instead of just discussing it by word, wherein sila ay nagiging passive learner lamang, compare dun sa meron silang mga nakikita, napapanood, at lalo na kung meron pang nama-manipulate na mga teaching materials or learning materials. Another question, how can visual strategies transform teaching? So visual strategies can really help the learners, especially the learners in mathematics subject, to be more active in learning. Number one motto po talaga natin pagdating sa learning ng mathematics is we can only learn math if we do math. And how can we do it? We can do it more efficiently with the help of this visual strategies po or paggamit itong mga visual aids or learning materials. Mas magiging engaging po yung lesson and mas ma-apply po nila yung mga concepts na kanilang inaaral during those lesson. And as a quote we have here, effective teaching materials turn learning from a task into an experience. So yun nga po, mas magiging enjoyable po yung learning instead of passively receiving knowledge. Why not use learning materials for the students to experience the topic at first hand? Ano po, hands-on activities po, magiging first-hand learning experience po nila yan kapag nag-implement po tayo ng visual aids. Kaya sabi nga po dito, visuals are the bridge to deeper understanding and active learning. Okay. So we have here the types and use of materials. We have visual aids. So sa visual aids, meron po tayo very traditional chalkboard. We have pictures, charts, poster, flashcards, infographic. So ito pong flashcards, gamit na gamit po natin ito sa mathematics, 'di po ba? Yung kahit yung mga grade 7 ginagamitan pa natin ng flashcards 'yan para ma-practice pa nila yung pag-solve ng mga integers, mga operations. Even nga po, kahit nakakalungkot, kinakailangan pa natin ng flashcard para lang ma-train sila dun sa gap ng hindi nila natutunan noon sa kahit yung basic operations lang po, they are very struggling po talaga. Kaya itong paggamit ng flashcards, talaga pong very helpful siya to train the students. Infographics, this is very helpful po para mas maging visually oriented po yung mga lesson natin. Ito naman pong audio aids, we have the radio, the CD, podcast, sound recordings. Pwede po natin 'tong gamitin. Halimbawa, we can encourage the students to record their notes, then papaulit-ulitin po nila yung papakinggan. This can help them to review their lessons more effectively. And the most widely used one, the audiovisual aids, like the use of television, video projection, educational films, and documentary. So, nakakatulong po talaga ito para mas maintindihan ng students yung mga pinapag-aralan po nila. Then, the digital aids such as the use of computer, tablet, smartphone, apps, and online resources. So, marami pong mga softwares dyan na makakatulong sa mga bata na mas matutunan pa ng mas madali yung mathematics. Halimbawa na lang po yung paggamit natin ng mga graphing tools, graphing calculators like GeoGebra. So, yan po, puwedeng yung mga photomath ginagamit nila para magkaroon sila ng pan-check po ba habang sila ay nagse-self-study, mga gano'n po. Yun nga lang po dapat very strict po tayo pagdating sa pagpapaalala sa kanila na dapat gagamitin lang po nila yun as, tool para matulungan yung study nila at hindi po gagamitin for cheating purposes. So we also have manipulative aids like models, globes, science apparatus, games, and realia. So yan po yung mga manipulative aids. Halimbawa na lang po yung abacus, naalala ko nun meron tayo po dun abacus dun sa math room 'no, nakakatuwa po siyang gamitin sa pag-aaral ng mga decimal system, mga anong tawag dun, binary code, something like that. Napakaganda po siya na modeling modeling material po para mas maintindihan mo po ng maayos yung kung paano gumagana yung pag-calculate nung mga unang panahon. Very interesting po siya gamitin kapag mina-manipulate po natin siya. So, we have the application or the practical use po nitong ating mga learning materials. First, classroom case study. We should use appropriate materials. First, we should analyze real-world teaching scenarios. Then, we should evaluate material suitability for learners. Then, discuss effective integration and strategy. So, dapat po talaga na alamin po muna natin yung target nating learners bago tayo mag-design. Dapat appropriate sa age nila, sa capabilities nila, tapos talaga pong appropriate din or in line with our lesson. Hindi tayo po magja-judge na kung anong gagamitin natin na learning materials based lang dun sa kung gaano siya ka-attractive, kung gaano siya nakakatuwa. Dapat po appropriate and aligned. Next, teacher role playing. Material application. Simulate dynamic lesson delivery, practice using various teaching aids, and refine instructional technique. So, dapat pina-practice din po natin at paggamit nitong mga teaching aids para naman po mas ma-deliver po rin natin ng maayos yung ating lesson. Then, design your own material. We can use prototype or we can create prototypes, collaboratively develop new teaching aids, apply design, principle to education, and foster innovation and creativity. So, yung mga minsan po yung mga patapon na katulad nung diniscuss ko po last time na example ng teaching materials, 'di ba po, example dun yung sa CAP na puwede po natin siyang gamitin na pag-aaral ng sa mga numbers po, lalagyan lang natin ng konting design. So, puwede tayong magkaroon ng innovative learning materials dun. Nakatipid na po tayo, nakatulong pa tayo sa ating environment. So it can help enhance the understanding through active participation, develop practical skills for classroom success, and it can inspire innovation in teaching material design. So, eto naman po yung guidelines natin for selecting and developing effective materials. So first, key selection criteria. Again, ito po relevance aligned with the learning objectives. Accuracy, ito na po yung sinabi natin kanina. It should be factual and up to date. And age appropriate, dapat alam po natin yung age range ng mga bata natin and i-align po natin yung mga gagamitin po nating materials doon. And ease of use, dapat po since nga po medyo bata pa kung ang target natin is elementary grades, dapat po hindi po masyadong complex yung ating learning materials. Dapat kaya po nilang i-manipulate mag-isa or with a little guidance of the teachers. Next, effective design principles. First one is the clarity. It should be easy to understand at a glance. Hindi po yung gagamit kayo ng teaching materials, mas lalo pang mahihirapan umintindi yung mga students. Kaya nga po tayo gumagamit ng teaching materials para po mas mapadali po yung pag-intindi at pag-comprehend ng mga concept na tinuturo natin para mas madali po yung pag-aaral ng mga students. So, hindi po dapat natin gagawing mas complex o yung paggamit pa noong visual aids na yun, yung pa yung magpapahirap dun sa pag-aaral ng mga bata. Next, attractiveness. So, visually appealing and engaging. Yun po talaga ay importante rin. Kasi kapag na-attract niyo po yung attention ng bata gamit yung mga visual aids na ina-adapt po natin o ginagamit natin, malaki ang possibility or it increases the chances of the students being more active and enthusiastic in participating in our class. Next is interactivity. It should encourage active participation nga po ng students. Yun nga po yung goal natin kung ba't gumagamit tayo ng visual aids. Para po hindi lang sila basta maging passive learners, they should act and have a good experiential learning on their own. Then, durability. Para naman po hindi po tayo masyadong magastusan, why not yung ide-design po natin ang mga learning materials ay pwede pa po nating mga magamit even sa next school years or sa other purposes pa. It should withstand frequent use. But ito naman po yung mga dapat nating i-avoid. So things to avoid, overly cluttered information. So mahirap po talaga yan. Magiging confusing na po sa mga bata yan. Blurred text or images. Imbis po na makatulong ay yun po mas parang hindi pa matutuwa lalo yung mga students kapag yung mga images or text natin ay blurred pa. Mas lalo po silang hindi makakaintindi or hindi makakapag-focus pa po lalo sa lesson. Then, not aligned with the objectives. Yun nga po, pag hindi align yung mga objectives o binase mo lang yung pagpili ng learning materials kasi sobrang ganda nun, instead po na maging aid pa siya para matuto yung mga bata, baka po magi pa siyang distraction sa pag-aaral ng mga bata. Then these are the presented challenges and solution in using materials. First, of course, budget constraints. Kadalasan, tinatamad po tayo gumawa ng learning materials kasi nga po, gagastos pa tayo. But there is a solution. First, we can use recyclable materials. Or we can do DIY or do-it-yourself materials. Yung mga available po natin sa ating environment, kung dito sa mga bahay, kung may mga patapon na, pero naiisipan mo pa ng idea kung paano mo siya i-innovate as teaching material, pwede po natin yung i-recycle. And we can also use open source resources. So, yan naman po ay pwede rin sa mga online resources. Gagamit po tayo doon. Sabi ko nga po, ang pinakalibreng type of teaching materials or aid na pwede natin gamitin ngayon is yung ating mga technological tools or yung mga available sa internet. Yan na po, marami tayong made-develop na teaching and learning materials diyan. Mag-design lang po kayo ng mga video, pwede na kayong magkaroon ng storytelling, magkakaroon na kayo ng mga manipulatives even in a digital form. So we can also use digital arts and infographics. Napakadali na po. Wala kayong kailangang bayaran or gastusin. Ang problema po, doon na papasok yung isa nating challenge, which is the limited technological knowledge. Yun nga po. Ngayon, almost kada month or week, mapapansin nyo, meron na namang na-develop na bagong apps, bagong software, bagong website, bagong resources na napakaganda niya gamitin, very helpful. Pero, yun nga po, since bago at kada buwan halos nagkakaroon ng cycle ng improvement and innovation, very limited yung knowledge po natin. So, minsan hindi natin magamit or hindi natin ginagamit kasi hindi tayo masyadong magaling sa pag-mobilize o sa gamit ng mga gano'ng applications or website. So, para po masolusyunan 'yon, we can have trainings. Available po ang ating mga online trainings. Meron tayong mga video tutorials diyan kung paano gumamit 'yon. Kailangan lang po talaga mag-invest tayo ng time, effort, and attention. We can also use peer mentoring kung meron naman po sa inyo na mga co-teachers ninyo or colleagues ninyo na marunong gumamit ng mga gano'ng advanced application. So, instead of gagastos kayo magre-recycle ng mga tangible materials, why not magpaturo na lang kayo sa kanila? Kung open naman po sila magturo, ay di much better po. Mas nakakasabay po tayo sa technology integration. Kasi nga po, even DepEd is highly encouraging the education process to have technological integration. And ito nga po yung last, yung sinabi ko na we can also use the online tutorials. Kung wala mang magtuturo sa atin, we can browse the internet. Nandun na rin po yung mga kailangan nating tutorials kung paano natin gagamitin itong mga visual aids natin or digital aids natin sa pagtuturo. So, ito pang problema, of course, lagi na lang, lack of time. But, how we can solve this? First of all, kailangan nating magplano. I-schedule natin ng maayos. Where can we allot time to develop this learning materials or teaching materials, visual aids. Then, we also have delegation and using ready-made resources. Ang problema naman po dito sa ready-made resources, ayun nga po, babayad kayo kasi sila na po ang nag-prepare niyan para sa inyo. Available po siya sa market like Shopee and Lazada. Napakarami ko pong nakikita ng mga visual aids na ready-made na, very effective, very attractive, and sa tingin ko ma-e-enjoy ng mga bata. The only problem is babalik tayo dun sa first challenge which is the budget constraint. Next, the last one we have here, it is the material maintenance. So, we should ensure proper storage and regular inspection and cleaning. Para naman po yung mga ginamit natin na at prepare na visual aids or learning materials ay hindi po masayang. Dapat po tinatabi natin ng maayos at sinasigurado po natin na kapag gagawa tayo ng ating mga visual materials, very durable po sila para po hindi na masayang yung oras natin na gumawa pa ulit ng bagong visual material sa next time kung kailan natin ituturo yung same topic or lesson. So, with the help of this, we can ensure that we have innovative strategies, effective implementation, and sustainable resource use. And to conclude my report, we have here teaching materials are not merely additions. They are essential tools in creating effective and engaging experiences. Kaya naman po, parang hindi na talaga optional na magkaroon tayo ng teaching materials. Talagang it is a necessity para naman po matulungan po talaga natin yung ating mga learners na mas makasabay pa at mas matuto pa sa ating lesson. And we should also remember, a reminder, the best material are those suited to the needs of the students and the objective of the lesson. Dapat po appropriately aligned sa needs ng mga bata, sa kanilang capabilities, sa mga expected abilities ng mga students sa age range na yon, and dapat talaga po aligned sa ating objective. So kasi nga po, tool lang siya, support mechanism lang ang ating mga materials in order for us to efficiently attain the learning objective that we set for that certain day or lesson. And lastly, we have continue to be creative and innovative in finding and using materials that will enrich the teaching process. Kasi nga po, in this fast-paced changing world, technology evolves as well as it brings up many innovative learning materials. Marami pong mga naimbentong mga applications, nag-evolve din po ang ating mga data, may mga new discovery. Dapat hindi po tayo magpapahuli. Dapat lagi tayong open for improvement. Dapat willing tayong matuto, pag-aralan natin yung mga bago para naman po mas makapag-deliver pa tayo ng quality education sa ating mga learners. So, that's all po. Thank you for listening.